Hey guys, it's Matt, and today I'm going to be reviewing and running Lionel's new Union Pacific auxiliary tender in the black color scheme. As first off, you could see this is a very big tender, and as you could see, this is how big it is compared to my hand size. It's very big and very bulky, which is very cool. To start off, we'll start off in the front with details. If you see, they hand painted the number of the auxiliary tender, which is Union Pacific 7853. Now, when you first get your auxiliary tender, Lionel will include this module. It says Legacy Auxiliary Tender. Let me see if I can get it up on the camera. Yeah, I can't. It says Legacy UP Auxiliary Tender 7853. Now, the reason why it says that is because it has to have these legacy controls. Now, I recommend that you read the manual first. Lionel says it's come as programmed as ID2 on the remote when you first get the tender. I recommend putting it at 90 because, well, it says 90 is the first two numbers, but that's really up to you if you want to put it as ID2. And for a recommendation, my recommendation is to run this as a lash up with your Union Pacific engine. As you can see, I have it lashed up with the 844, and then I have the auxiliary tender behind it. Because then all you have to do is hit the train link, and hit that, and then you can do the features. So let's actually get to the detail. On the front here, you got loads of little detail. Let me find a screwdriver. Here we go. On the front here, you got loads of detail. You got brake wheel. You got molded in piping. You got this coupler cut bar here, which is pretty nice, which does move too. It's not locked in place, it really does move. You got a coupler here. It's not electro, it actually is electro, I think. It has two electro couplers. There's more piping down in here, like brake hoses. Then you got molded in detail over here, which is pretty nice. You got separately applied ladders, and then come towards up a little bit. You got grab irons, and then some more detail, and then it comes to a little thing there. Moving down, you got beautiful detail molded in trucks. They got Timken roller bearings. Wait, those aren't Timken. Those are SNF, I believe. Then you got air supplies, and then you got piping, molded in piping down here. Then we come up to the side. You got this beautiful black paint job, no blotches. It's printed Union Pacific on the side here, which is pretty cool. Coming to the top, it's pretty cool, is that these stanchions, they have been redone. What I like about these stanchions, on the 2000 model of the auxiliary tender, the stanchions on the auxiliary tenders broke, which was a big disadvantage. So, with Lionel to come back and fix these is pretty cool. With all these handrails and stanchions, they're pretty good now that they've improved them. I'm not sure what Lionel did to improve them, but it's pretty cool. I'm going to raise the camera, that way I can show you about this tender real quick. As you all know, this is a legacy equipped tender, because the old one was a TMCC tender. To access the program and run switch, you got to open up the flap here. Then you have your program and run switch. Flip it to put it to program, and flip it back to put it in run. I'll get over the real features in a moment. Put the camera back down. Come back to the back here. You got beautiful detailing just like the front. Some piping molded in detail. Step ladders. And then you come to another coupler cut bar, which is nice. This is another separately applied ladder, I think. Not molded in. Now let me go to the features of this tender. This tender features nothing real special except a backup light and an electro coupler on both the front and the rear. Not really good. Not really good features. If Lionel really wanted to make this tender a hit, they should have put sounds in it, like water rushing up sounds like into the tender. But it's a great tender to pull behind any Union Pacific engine. Lionel recommends you pull this behind all the past and future Union Pacific engines, such as the Union Pacific FEF-3, the new Vision Line Challenger, the new Lion Master Big Boy, the old Lion Master Big Boy. but it's a very well detailed tender. I'm glad to own it. So I'm going to show you the features real quick. Here I have the tender set as 90 on the remote. Now I'm going to hit the reverser, and then you're going to see the light up. You can see that the light lights up. Now the reason why the reason why this has a backup light is so that the engine with the auxiliary tender doesn't have to throw their light on. Then we come to the electrocoupler, which is going to be kind of hard to see. Let me zoom in. And it's a very quiet coupler. When you have your engine sounds on, you can't even tell that it has a coupler. Then the front coupler. Which is pretty cool. I love these features on this tender. This tender runs about $300, but it depends on where you get it. If you get it from your local hobby shop, it's exceptional. It's a really nice piece. I forgot to mention this detail. It has contact rollers, but it's only for the electrocoupler and the lights. I'm going to take the rest of the time. I'm going to move the tender up, hook it back up to the FEF, and then I'm going to review the MTH DAP passenger cars. Let me grab them. I'll start out with the baggage car, and then it'll probably be a two-part series here. So now I'm going to review this baggage car. This baggage car is very well detailed, especially for a UP Heritage collection. Start off here in the front, you got real detail. You got the diaphragm, which is made out of real rubber, which is pretty nice, and it's pushable too, so it doesn't get caught. Let me turn off the track power, that way you don't hear the tender sounds. Okay, that's better. And then the lights aren't going to be on. But the diaphragm, and then you got separately applied details here on both sides. Got these handrails, I believe. Then you come down here, and then you have these step ladders, which allow you to climb to the top. Moving back, you got this beautiful Proud Heritage Powerful Future UP logo. This car number is 5769 if you go on MTH's website. All four doors on both sides of the car actually open. I don't like to open them, well, at least sometimes. Then you got very beautiful detailed trucks. Mostly some separately applied, but mostly molded in detail, like these air hoses, something like that. Not air hoses, but. Then you got what looks like a radiator or an AC or something like that. But the main thing that sets this whole car apart is the beautiful red, white, and blue paint job. I could not find one problem. The only thing I want to know is, how did MTH do this? I just want to know. But it's so beautiful. The roof has, like, molded in rivets, which is really cool. And then you got grab irons here. Grab-ons or whatever. But there's not much more. There's not a lot to this car. But not much to it. Let me move the FEF up. Now I'm going to review the MTH DAP Dealer Appreciation First UP car. This is a real high detailed car. It's almost like the baggage car, but there's only differences. Is that it has all these special grab-ons and whatnot, but then it also has that radiator or whatever. But it has features like interior lighting, figures, and seats that if you want you can open the car up and paint, which I don't recommend because then it just ruins the value of the whole car. What's cool is that these doors over here actually open. See? Doors open. Doors open. And then when the car lights up, it's all lights, and then you can see the people inside. I'm going to review the Vista Dome now. The Vista Dome is exactly the same as the baggage car and the sleeper car. So I'm going to spend less time on the details because everything's exactly the same, except this has